Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am Val Jean, and this is my world. If you are happy with the current administration and how things are going in our country, please just scroll on by. This is not the channel for you. If you are frustrated with the way things are going, come on in, pull up a chair, grab a drink, get a sheet of paper and a pencil. There will be homework. I do not give tests at the end though, but this is a channel where you actually feel like your voice is being heard. You can do something, you can make changes. We are trying to make changes. With that being said, my dear darling, Cousin Michelle is in the chat. Thumbs up. And remember that this is an action class for what we can do. Yes, ma'am. We're going to do things here. There's Darcia. Hello. My daughter called after I got off the phone with Michelle and I told her I was starting a revolution. She says, "Oh no, I knew you were going to do that." I told her I got my bail money. I'm ready. I didn't have a chance to find the song that we're going for revolution, but yeah, this is what we're going to do because it's getting a little crazy over here. Yeah, she did. She's like, oh Lord. She said, I knew you were going to do that. I knew it. I do not have a political bone in my body, but I have a deep moral compass for fairness. And my mother used to tell me, baby, life isn't fair. Okay, but I can even the odds because right now the odds are against us. We are going to start off with the easy stuff and then we're going into the hard stuff. So if you don't have a drink, you got a chance to run. If you're set, ready to go, here we go. Um, there's Coley. I am glad you are here. So glad I'm able to be here for the whole lot of it. Can't wait. Bring on the knowledge for us to soak up. Girl, I'm going to do my best. Everybody cross your fingers. Share me out. We're going to try to do this. Okay, everybody knows that the Democrats are 3 seats short of being equal. And the Democrats keep saying we have to wait until the midterms in 2026. I'm not going to live to 2026. I'll be honest with you because this is really grating on my nerves. So we don't have to wait until 2026. If you live in the state of Illinois, they are having, oh Lord, hold on. I always forget to share my screen. They are having elections on March the 25th. And the link for this is in the description. I feel like Jasmine Crockett. I've come with receipts. Okay, the links for this is in the description. They have what they call consolidated primary elections. So everybody gets to vote at the same time. And thank you, Chris Kaleidoscope, for letting me know about this. I had no idea. The polls open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February the 25th. To find your polling place, you click this link, find your county, and that is where you go to vote. If you are not in Illinois, they are also this link for the Associated Press. Oh, that one flipped over. Hey, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. They have a list of congressional seats that they are following for the year 2025. We've already missed January and February. April the 1st, Florida has two special elections for House seats. The first district is considered a safe Republican seat. Let's turn that seat around. That is Matt Gaetz' seat, who was nominated, and we know what happened to Matt Gaetz. Also on and they don't tell the and the other one is Marco Rubio. So Marco's seat is also up. Also on April 1st, Wisconsin is holding general elections for a seat in the state's Supreme Court and the state's Superintendent of Public Instruction. Now, here's the deal. In Wisconsin, Elon Musk is backing Brad Schimmel because Elon is in court in Wisconsin. The vote is for a Supreme Court judge. He's hoping to get his case up to the Supreme Court, and he's hoping to go in front of this Brad Schimmel. Supreme Court is supposed to be nonpartisan, but Schimmel's a Republican, which means that he's in that old boys club. His opponent is Janet Postaskowicz. She is a current judge. Look up her record, see what she's got going on. But please, 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 I'm not telling you how to vote, but if you can find it in your heart, vote for her, because we have to break this old boys club. We do not have a hope in this country if we cannot break this old boys club. Even if you don't like the Democrat candidate, just vote for them so we have a hope. Right now, we're hamstrung. Even when we see what's going wrong, we don't have a hope or a prayer of changing it. But this is what we can do. Talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, find people who did not vote. Make sure they're registered, get them out to vote. Tell them you don't care how they vote, just vote. Think about the 2 million people who sat out the last election. Oh, my one vote won't count. Look where we are now. That one vote turned into over 2 million votes. I don't know if you like what's going on. I don't. If I wanted to live in Russia, I'd move to Russia. This is supposed to be a democracy and not a dictatorship or any of the other long words they want to call it. I'm not here for it. The other thing you can do is, if you live in an apartment building, if they have a big clubhouse, have a little registration party. Set up some laptops. Make sure everybody's registered. If they're not registered, get them online and get them to register. If they're elderly and they need an absentee ballot, help them sign up for absentee ballots. If they can't get out, if you have a state where you can mail in your absentee ballots, make sure they get them in the mail, or get a bunch of them, take them to the post office for the elderly. If you can get with your election board and actually make your little clubhouse or whatever you have going on in your community a polling place so the elderly can get out and vote. Each one take somebody with you and get them to vote. Jimmy Carter was 100 years old and he voted in the last presidential election. If he can vote, we can make sure that everybody else gets a chance to vote. So we make sure they have a ride if they need a ride. Get them signed up for absentee ballots. Make sure they understand how to fill out the absentee ballots and get them in the mail. If in your state, you have to drop your absentee ballots off at certain designated spots, please offer to gather them all up and take them in and deposit it for them so that their votes are counted. We have to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Okay, moving right. So, did we take notes? That's homework number one. That's for voting. Now, if you have a cup of coffee in your hand, put it down because I don't want to make you drop this. Because we're about to get a little upset here, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. I want to thank John Iadarola from the Damage Report for this little blurb that he did yesterday because I have been looking for this information and I was having trouble finding it. Mr. Google didn't like what I was looking for, but John brought it up close and personal, and we will talk about this in just a minute.
Did you know that in just the first 2 months of his administration, Donald Trump's golf trips have cost American taxpayers $18.2 million? Sorry, that got political really fast, but it is technically about golf. Anyway, yeah, no, 18.2 million, not his lifetime expenses playing golf, not over the course of his first term and this term, just the first couple months, $18.2 million. He has played golf on 13 days of only 48 days as president, a measurable percentage of all of them. He played 10 days in West Palm Beach at his course. He spent another 3 days at his course in Doral. And so let's talk about how we get to this amount. According to a 2019 GAO report examining the first 4 trips Trump took to Mar-a-Lago during his first administration, each one cost on average a little bit less than $3.4 million. So that's 2017 dollars. So this is almost certainly a lowball figure because we've had a lot of inflation, especially recently. Now you might wonder, wait, why does it cost $3.4 million to send him down to like drive around a little bit, putt or whatever, and then cheat and make up a score? Why would that cost so much money? Well, his entourage flew down on Air Force One. The military brought their vehicles for his motorcade on C-17 military transports. They fly the SUVs down to Florida. And because Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach straddles the width of the barrier island, police boats with machine guns mounted on the bows patrol the intracoastal while a Coast Guard vessel is stationed off the beach in the Atlantic. Additional costs go to law enforcement and explosive sniffing dogs. So the security is insane. It's covering land, air, sea, and even dogs so that he can go play golf weekend after weekend after weekend. And look, I understand that he doesn't give a damn about anybody. And he thinks that the taxpayer, this is a little piggy bank. If I found out that me going as president to do a board game weekend was gonna cost $200,000, I'd be like, well, guess I can't do that. That's crazy. He's spending millions a week on this, and he's not gonna stop. It's just gonna cost more and more and more. And by the way, you can tell how sensitive he is about this story already, because on his first trip after retaking office, he's gonna go to California, Nevada, and Doral. He was asked if he'd be playing golf on the trip, and he said, no, I don't think so, I'm busy. And just 2 days later, a Fox News reporter posted photos of him playing golf at his Doral course, which of course is the only reason he went there. He was lying when he said he wouldn't be playing golf. That's the main reason he takes these trips. And it isn't just him lying about it. Laura Trump.
I don't need to hear about Laura Trump. But what John forgot to mention is that Mr. Trump also charges the government for the rooms the Secret Service sleep in. So we're paying for the Secret Service to protect Mr. Trump. We are also paying for their hotel rooms. Now, I'm sure the Trump apartment has 4, 5, 6, 8 bedrooms. Why can't they have a bedroom there? Why are we paying for bedrooms? That sounds like double dipping to me. What does it sound like to you? And yes, I have the link for John's damage report in the description because he had a lot more to say about it than that. But the next part that I clipped, I really love this part because I didn't think about this.
Every single weekend. We shouldn't have to pay for that. Give the president 2 weekends a year, a normal set of vacation days that every American worker gets. He doesn't get more vacation days than you or I do. I think that's the most reasonable thing in the world. And if he wants to take more, then he can pay for the goddamn golfing trip. How about
Sorry about that. I forgot how upset John got. But he's right. If you're going to go now, okay, if you have a 9 to 5 job, you want your weekend off. I understand that. But we're supposed to be cutting down on waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, to me, that's fraud and abuse right off the top. That 18.2 million dollars in 40 days. But they're cutting people's jobs, Medicare, Medicaid, all the social programs so that he can go play golf every weekend. Okay. But me not being a golfer, I don't know anything about golf. I said, well, maybe they don't have any golf courses close to the White House. So I went on Mr. Google and I put in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Okay. So we're over here at our dear darling White House. And around the White House, we have, oh, let's see. Well, this is the first tree is for children. He probably doesn't want to go there. We have Golf Smash, his corporate offices, 2.3 stars. He probably doesn't want to go there. Then we have the Golf Doctor. Yeah, I can see him not wanting to go there. Langston Golf Conservatory. Maybe. 5 Iron Golf. Oh, it's indoor. He can't drive around in his golf cart. I get that. The club. Well, now he might like this if he could bring his whole entourage. But from the White House, going just a little bit further south than the Smithsonian, who also has a golf course, look what we have here. We have the East Potomac Park White Golf Course, and this is all of their holes are shown on the map. So if he does not want to go to that particular golf course, let's see if he has a choice. We've got the East Potomac. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's all of their holes. All of their holes are on the map. You can just draw to the holes. We have the Army Navy Country Club in Arlington. We have the X-Golf National Park. Well, he's probably not interested in going to a park because he fired all the park rangers. We have the Capitol Hill Club. Well, we know how he feels about clubs. The City Club of Washington. And then we have 2 more pages. There is no reason why he would need to fly his whole entourage down to Florida every single weekend when there are more and more golf clubs in the DMV. Now, they keep saying it might hurt for a little bit. Nobody's feeling a pinch but the American people. So, what did she say? Well, the copper colored one is rich. Right? 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 Once or twice a year. Exactly. Exactly. But so he has options in DC. He can go down to Florida twice a year. Nobody's going to begrudge him a vacation. Every weekend, and he's taking a whole entourage, and we have to have the Coast Guard and everybody out and bomb sniffing dogs. Forget that he is charging the Secret Service to stay there. Action plan number 2: write to your senators. The link's in the description. Your Congress people. Hakeem Jeffries. I have written to all of these people already. It would make no difference to write to MAGA Mike Johnson because that poor baby can't even put his pants on without help. His head is just swinging around like the movie. I hold no faith in him. I really don't. But, and again, I know everybody says, what's my one little letter going to do? Everybody is saying that when we call, their voicemail is full. That's because everybody's calling. We keep calling. We keep writing. And when they say, oh, we're not having congressional town halls anymore because the Democrats are paying people to go and disrupt the meetings. That's not true. The Democrats don't waste their money like that. They put their money on the vote. They get out, they campaign, they are trying to do things. Poor little Bernie Sanders is going from one end of the country to the other, giving people options and telling them what's going on. Get off legacy media. They have fired everybody on all of the major networks who tried to stand up to him. He has sued everybody with a backbone, and the networks did not stand behind them. You find people on the YT that you feel confident with. You look and see how many subscribers they have and how long they have been on, and make sure that they do their research. So we're going to write the senators, Congress, Hakeem Jeffries. We're going to tell them. And if I thought it would do any good to write to his chief of staff, I would write to her too. But I never remember what her name is, and I keep forgetting to look it up. I don't know who has control over him and who can rein him in, but we could have saved $18.2 million if not for his nonsense. We've got to stop this. Not enough to afford going bi-monthly. Twice a year. As a matter of fact, he has spent his money for the next 2 years. He doesn't get to go until 2027. And that was my problem. And when I wrote, I said, I don't know who has control over this, but. And I let them know the but. I don't know who can control him. Somebody's got to do something because he is out of control. He is firing. Okay, think about this. $18.2 million. Taxpayers' money. I did not vote for my money to be used like that. He's gutting all of the social programs to balance the budget so he can give a tax break to the 1% of the billionaires. Well, he just spent their tax break. He has spent their money. There's no more money in the kitty. And yes, please use a burner phone because I don't want anybody getting in any trouble. But yes, text him and let him know how you feel about it. I've told you how I feel about it. And the other thing, think about us when we file our taxes. If we do an itemized return, we have to list all the charities we've given to, and then we get a tax break according to the amount of money we've donated. If the billionaires want a tax break, why can't they donate to the social programs and get a tax break? Why can't they take their $10,000 designer dresses and sell them and donate that money to the American people? I'm sure they have more than one gown in their closet that they are not going to wear again because you can't wear the same gown twice. If you have a 20-car stable out back, you can't drive more than one car at a time. Cut it down to one car per person plus your luxury limousine. Yes, you can keep your luxury limousine. You've got to have that status. Sell all of your other vehicles and donate that money back to the government and get a tax break that way. Help. Okay, when you die, what are you going to do with all those cars, homes, money? What are you going to do with all that? You're going to be gone. Why not donate it to the American people who are just trying to survive? Because they've already lost their jobs. They're about to lose their homes. They're going to be set out on the street. And you've got homes everywhere. And then you want a tax break on top of it? And then we talked about this last week, but think about it again. Elon Musk is making $8 million a day off government contracts. And he didn't pay his taxes last year. Mm-hmm. So, how is that fair? Thank you, Michelle. They sell burners at Walgreens, Walmart, and Dollar General. Get you a burner phone. Text the demon. He doesn't own the land his property sits on. And then here's the other thing. When they had their UN vote, these people in DC voted with Russia, Iran, and China. They did not vote with our allies. Iran is making deals with Russia. They're not making deals with us. I worked in a trauma center for all of my working career, and we had to learn elder care, abuse, child abuse. And the one thing about abusers, they try to distance you from your friends. They try to get you to quit your jobs, lose your insurance, so that you're totally dependent on him. And then when he turns on you, you've got no one to turn to because everybody is fed up with you because you're clinging to him no matter how many times they have told you that he is not good for you. So when they finally get tired of trying to help you and they're done with you, that's when he makes his move and you are out in the cold with no one. And that is what they are trying to do with the United States. We are no longer the United States. It's us against him because he has cut us off from Canada. He's cut us off from Mexico. He has alienated all of our European allies. He has turned his back on the Ukraine. And Volodymyr Zelensky has a Facebook group. If you are so inclined, please go to his he has a Facebook page. Go to his page. It's a group because you can write to him. Go to his group, and if you feel that he was treated unfairly, apologize. Give him some encouragement, cuz he was the only man in that room. And if they weren't under siege, I would go to the Ukraine and be with him, cuz that but that's a whole nother. Michelle says get a few. She says yes, use a text chat app to double encrypt your information. Good idea. Darcia says, I got caught up in the loop of them cutting Medicaid. I don't get Medicaid. SS took 300 from me and I had to call them and they made a mistake. It took them a week, but I got it back. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, I am so happy that you got it to work. Yeah, he took us out of the who. He's taking us out of everything. He has deported everyone with brown skin. He is inviting in people who pay $5 million. Where's that $5 million going to go? He's never said where that money's going to go. He said it's going to expedite them in getting a green card. How? I don't understand how that works. And when they asked him if the Russian oligarchs were included, he said yes. So he deported all of the brown people who were working. He wants to bring in Russians who are going to pay $5 million. And do you think it's going to help any of us Americans? Think again. Darcia says, Michelle, it messed up my bills and my yarn dibs. Girl. Now, we found out where yes, honey, he's taking us from but I'm not sure about who. AMA and the CDC have YouTube pages. We can still get it off YouTube because he was trying to get them to stop updating their websites. If you have a Democrat representative who has a YouTube channel, follow them. If you have one who doesn't have a YouTube channel, ask them to start one. I did. Okay. It's 2:30. Here comes the fun drama. We got more drama. I didn't know where to go with this because so many things were happening this weekend. I haven't even looked at today's clips because I'm like, I got to get ready for this. I've got to get ready for this. If you don't subscribe to Chris Norland, he is a financier. He really does good work. Sometimes he talks a little fast. Sometimes he gets a little too technical, and I have to pause him and go find somebody else who breaks it down in little chunks so I can understand it. This I actually understand, so I'm going to try to be the one who pauses him and breaks it down so we can get the gist of exactly what they're doing to us. And the blue book is suppressing access to honest to flipping goodness. Glad I got my message in when I could. Oh, and the other thing, Poland is after Mr. Musk because Poland said You can't cut off the satellite information to the Ukraine because we have already paid for it. And Musk said, you didn't pay that much money. It doesn't matter how much money they paid. They paid for the service. So you can't cut off the service after you've been paid for it. And I haven't read anywhere where he's offered a refund. So you've got these people's money, and then you cut off the service. And this man is running roughshod in our government. Okay. Okay. They also enacted a 50% tax. Oh yeah, and they put a 250%. Yeah, is we're going back to the old days. Remember, we're on our own. We are on our own. So here's what Chris has to say. And this yeah, this makes gray matter ooze out of my ears. But he's got a point. He's got a point. So Chris says, what happened to my tab? Come back here. Hold up, I just lost my tab. So sorry. Yes, I hit buttons. I can't help it. Let me get back to where I was. View this tab. Okay, here we go. Add. Okay. Yeah, girl, they're being all kinds of crazy. But we got to fight back.
Chinese investors privately take stakes in Elon Musk's company, okay? Privately, right? So Chinese investors privately take stakes in Elon Musk's company. Asset managers have been promoting tech moguls' ties to Donald Trump to lure capital to XAI, Neuralink, and SpaceX. So we're talking about three of his private companies, XAI, Neuralink, and SpaceX. If you don't understand private, basically, we have no public access to their accounting. Where if you're a publicly traded company on the markets, we can see your books are open. Yeah. So this is also what it says. It says wealthy Chinese investors are quietly funneling tens of millions of dollars into private companies controlled by Elon Musk. This is an important part too. Using an arrangement that shields their identities from public view, according to asset managers and investors involved in the transactions. So what's going on is we don't know the names of the people who are investing in Musk's company. Mm-hmm. That's done on purpose, okay?
Actually, that means we don't even know they're Chinese or Russians.
Well, okay, there is some Russian money going to Musk's company. That was reported before. It was into SpaceX. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of money going to China where we don't know exactly. Yeah.
Did you hear what he said? There is a bunch of Russian money going into SpaceX. He has fired people from the FAA, and he has SpaceX people as advisors in our FAA. But they are being paid by Russia. So we've got okay. Russia's putting money into SpaceX. SpaceX is putting their employees in our FAA. They have not been hired. They have not been vetted. They do not have a security clearance. But they are in our FAA, okay? Yeah, I was surprised. I have to admit, I was surprised. I mean, just put naive across my forehead. I was surprised, okay? See. Oh, that's because they gutted the the trackers.
Right? Yeah. This particular article was interviewing people who was trying to get money from China in particular, right? So if there's another article that comes out of like getting money from Russia in particular, well, like for example,
Saudi Arabia, whatever.
Yeah, because he has taken Saudi money before, right? This isn't just like this is all in the financial news because when you get this a lot of money moving around the world, people know about it, so right? So what's going on is there's these managers that are saying, hey, look at Musk, he has a connection to Trump, and then therefore corruption, they're going to be great and they have a good relationship. That's how they're selling it. They're also funneling the money through the Cayman Islands, which is there's a lot of shady stuff that happens in that.
He's getting money from the Saudis, and they are funneling their money through the Cayman Islands. That sounds like money laundering to me. I don't know about anybody else, but anytime I hear about money going through the Cayman Islands, I think money laundering. Yeah, I've been thinking that for a while. I have, because he has flipped a couple of times, and he has flipped on Musk a couple of times. So yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I really was, because ooh yeah, it's here we go.
That way, right? So from China through Cayman into Musk companies. We kind of knew this stuff was happening before, but just to get actual details, the minimum I think per person is like $200,000. And
Maximum.
I don't think there wouldn't be a maximum this kind of stuff. And then this would be one of the questions that I would pose to you guys listening, and also pose to Yeji. If you're Musk or a business person that deals in government contracts, would you take money if you don't actually know who it's coming from? Like the way they're setting this stuff up through Cayman Islands, they actually don't. Yeah. You actually don't know who it's like. Would you take money? And you have to remember, Musk deals with some of his companies, SpaceX. They deal with classified information, I mean, like top secret kind of stuff. There's spy satellites, basically, right? So that's why this became really controversial when it found out recently that they were taking money from Russia. What it was is that there's a freeze on the Russian rich people assets, oligarch assets. And so one of the ways to, I guess, get their money out of the freeze, or somehow they're putting money into SpaceX, right? So they weren't supposed to be able to get their money out. So, you have to have some details from Russia and that kind of stuff. But we get the reports, because you'll see like this, well, where's this money coming from?
They weren't supposed to be able to get their money out of Russia. So they're putting their money into SpaceX. SpaceX is tied into our government, and they have government contracts to a company who is getting money from Russia. And they're talking about fraud, waste, and corruption. Girl, yeah, it is. It is. That is money going through the black. It's money. It's money laundering, as far as I can see. They put a freeze on Russia's money, but then we invited them to spend $5 million to come over into the U.S. He got Romania to release the pedophiles and send them to Florida. They were doing trafficking in human beings, and then he puts them in Florida. And of course they say, I'm innocent. They're not going to say I did it. His whole platform was in getting the criminals out. So if you're black or brown, you're going out. If you don't look like us, come on in, bring your money. We'll clean it up for you. We'll whitewash it through the government. We'll get your accounts in the Cayman Islands. Now you see why I couldn't figure out where I was going with this, because there's too much happening. So then we're going to skip that, and we're going to go over to, oh, no, wait, we're there. Then they said,
right, and then you'll get leaks. So the China one's actually a big thing. And then the other one was too, is that as an investor, would you invest in a company if you can't see their financials? Yeah. Right. So what do you think? So the first question, would you take money from people you don't know where it's coming from?
It's pretty shady.
Okay, so my take on it And of course, I'm not a financier, but anything that Musk, SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla are involved in, because if you have it's not a money market, but the investment accounts are usually a conglomeration of other accounts. Pull out, pull out. Do not invest in Bitcoins. Don't invest in meme coins. Don't invest in anything that has Trump's name on it, because you will lose your money. And like Justin used to say, I guarantee you're going to lose your money. Hold on to what you have. It's going to get better. Watch your state and local voting. Vote blue. I'm in a red state. Vote blue. You can change it purple. We have to have a chance. And right now, we don't have a chance. The people, that's where I was going. The people with the power, and we don't even have the people with the power. X was hacked yesterday. X was hacked so badly, Musk's little tech bros couldn't fix it. And he's like, that happens all the time. No, it doesn't. You've got these people running around in our government files, running around in our banking accounts, who can't fix a Twitter hack. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. And the president always says that Elon is a genius. Well, in my research, Elon has developed nada. He bought Twitter, fired everybody, changed it to space to a X, and made it his own chat page. And if you don't agree with him, you get blocked. He bought Tesla. Tesla was an established company. He bought SpaceX. He bought Starlink. He is living off the blood, sweat, tears, R&D of other people. And like we said last week, he said America has too many regulations. He's gutted all of the regulatory agencies so that he can do what he wants to do and not pay the hundreds of thousands of fines that he was fined for unsafe practices. He wants to dump garbage in our water. He wants to loose toxins into our air. They've closed the EPA. So if you live close to a Musk manufacturing plant, I highly suggest that you boil your water and you wear a mask, because it's not going to be safe, because there's no longer anybody regulating his activity. And there are, and don't take my word for it. Go around the internet, go around YouTube. There are whistleblowers who have reported that he will tell you not to do this, to hide that. We don't have to pay attention to that. If he doesn't want to do that in his company, that's fine. You take your company all over to South Africa and you ruin the water over there where you were born. Don't come over here and ruin our country. You weren't born here. You don't really have a stake in this country. You're over here to get what you can get. Well, while you're getting what you can get, don't tear up my country where I was born, raised, and I plan on staying. Go back to your native land. Trash it over there. You're going to leave your country and come over here and trash mine. Boil your water, wear your mask, because they're doing their best to kill us. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The money's going through the black market. Ooh. He said he could look at people and tell me if they were criminals. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I want to know how they can sleep at night. Do they have no conscience? They have no feelings. They have no remorse. I bet all those followers of his invested in everything they own. People are really going broke. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All those the meme coin, the Melania coin, and then think about it. He's got socks, shoes. Now they want to put his face on a $250 bill, but we can't mint a penny. Make that make sense. I don't understand. I really, really, really don't understand. And no, I'm not trying to be negative. I am not trying to be alarmist, but $18.2 million in 40 days. That would last me, my children, and probably my 6 grandchildren the rest of our lives. And he spent it in 40 days. Well, if Melania just sold her clothes from the first administration, we could probably fund all of the social programs. Because you know she's not going to wear them again because she doesn't want another picture in the same outfit. Did they? They should have been sleeping with one eye open. They really should have. Crystal, welcome in. Good to see you. Hey. Sweetheart, you'll have to catch the replay. I am so sorry because we're going off of here in about 10 minutes. But thank you so much for coming. We did have a lively one. Michelle has posted links, and there are links in the description. Yeah, we've got homework. But it's good to see you. So yeah, our homework, call. Make sure you get the elders out to vote. Or you get them registered, get their absentee ballots, deposit their ballots for them. Take them to the polling place, take them to the post office, however it works in your state. Check with your state laws because I don't know all the things about states. Mine, if I request my ballot early and I get it postmarked by XYZ date, I can put it in the mail. If not, I can take it up to the rec center. They have a box and you can just dump them all in a box. Oh, and he keeps coming up with that he thinks the computer voting is corrupt. Computer voting is only corrupt when Musk gets in it. Don't let them take us back to the paper ballots because remember the election of 2000, we had all those hanging chads. I can't go through hanging chads again. So if they put on your ballots, do you want paper ballots? Tell them no, because they will try to disallow them. Trust and believe. They've tried it before. Have you heard about the tariffs that Ontario is putting on Mississippi? Yep, Mississippi, New York, Massachusetts. Yep, and they've taken all of the Kentucky whiskeys and Tennessee whiskeys off the shelves. They are no longer serving American-made products. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. We talked about that. He has cut us off from all of our allies. We're on our own, and we just talked about that they are funneling money from China and Russia through the Cayman Islands and into Elon Musk's companies. And and another thing we have to write about because we don't have to talk about this. I was going to talk about it, but we can write about this. Yep, call on the burner phone, Chad Gate, or the paper ballots will disappear. That too, or like they did up in what was it, Oregon? People were trying to actually steal the boxes. Yeah, they play too much. They try really hard, and I still haven't figured out how North Carolina was able to cast all of their votes when they had no electricity. How could these people vote when they had no electricity? I don't understand that. I was asking it during the whole voting process. Nobody answered me. I don't think that's my opinion. I don't know how they voted. That's just my opinion. They were trying to burn them. Yep, that too. That too. We have planes falling out of the sky. Starlink is in our FAA, and we've talked about that earlier, Crystal. But the other thing, and Crystal, I left homework, so please go back and watch the replay and write down your homework. Other thing to add to your homework, and I'm not just giving out homework. I've actually written these letters, so don't think that I'm just here spouting off things. I have written the letters, and I showed you last week how to find your senator and your congressperson. And you write what you feel. You write one letter, you copy and paste it to the other people. You send it off. Keep it nice, keep it nice, keep it polite, because you have to put your name and your address on there. I politely wrote to them and told them that they need to evaluate their contracts with Elon Musk. There is no reason he should be making $8 million a day. Starlink should not be in our FAA because they've had 2 rockets explode in the last 2 months. We have planes falling out of the sky. There is no reason for us to go to the moon. We have already been to the moon, been there, done that, planted our flag. There is no reason for us to go to Mars. It has already been scientifically proven that the Mars atmosphere is not conducive to human life. Why are we spending all this government money that we don't have to go to Mars when it benefits us? How? Just because you want to see if you can do it? You can't get the rocket up in the air. And who's paying for that? Is Elon Musk paying for all these rockets that explode? Or are the taxpayers paying for all these rockets that are exploding? Write your senators. Write your congresspeople. Write to Hakeem Jeffries. If you really don't mind sending in another mail, write to Mike Johnson, just so he knows that it's just not Democrats being paid to do stuff that we really are unhappy. There is no reason to be burning up billions of dollars in space when we have Americans going hungry. Make that make sense. The stuff is exploding. We went to the moon in the 60s. Why are we trying to do it again? What do we need it for? How is it benefiting us? We need a government that benefits the people. Excuse me, they said we're going to make America great again. And you have just gutted the working class, and we have Americans who are going hungry while your boyfriend is burning up money in the atmosphere. That's not American. That's craziness. Knock it off. Write your letters. Text your calls. As Michelle says, you use a call app. Let them know that you're not happy. Wisconsin, thank you, Michelle. Get out to vote. Illinois, Florida, New York. I didn't put New York on there, did I? New York, yep, New York's April the 1st. New York is April the 21st. Ooh, I forgot Elise Stefanik. Good, and I wrote her down. New York, March 25th. Vote for Elise Stefanik's seat. They have early voting March the 15th to the 25th. So you got 10 days to do early voting, and then the voting date is March the 25th. So New York, 2 seats in Florida. Supreme Court in Wisconsin, and consolidated votes in Illinois. Get people out to vote. I want to thank everybody who has spent the last hour with me. I know I threw a lot at you, but I got a lot going on in my head because these people are trying to, as they say all over the place, they're trying to gaslight us, and we're going to let them know. I don't know how we can get rid of that, Crystal, because I agree. We really need to get rid of that. Right? Write your senators, write your Congress people. We really do. Share this live with friends and families as the call to action. Bless you, Michelle. Please share because there are things we can do. We got to get the elderly and the sick out to vote. If you can get a polling place in a nursing home so these people can vote, help them with their absentee ballots, but let their voices be heard. If rich people want to go, they can spend their money. See, yes, yes, they can. But exactly, but don't spend our money. And like I said, sell your own gowns and donate that money to the social programs. Come on now. What are you going to do with these old gowns? Because they are trying to go back. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But I'm not going to let them do that. Okay. And that's it, Crystal. They're trying to tell us that they have to wait until midterms in 2026. These are the things we can do before 2026 because the way it's going, I may not make it to 2026. So these are things we can do now. We get all of our state representatives whose seats are open, turn them blue. We at least have a chance until 2026. We'll be even. If we can flip these 3 seats, we'll be even. Yep, and that's necessary. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we're not going to do a VJ raid because I'm not VJ today. We're going to do a Val Jean read over to our sis Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor. Everybody, it's called to action. Look, I don't know when her term is up. I don't know when MTG's term is up and Mr. Comer. Those 3 have got to go. They've got to go. They've really got to go. Yeah, because they're oh my gosh, they've got to go. Watch your primaries. And it doesn't matter how much money Musk puts on the opposition. Vote blue. If you don't vote blue, we don't have a chance in the world because they have aligned themselves with Russia, China, and Iran. Yes, I have almond-shaped eyes, but I'm not going back to Russia, okay? I'm not going to do it. So hugs, love you all. Yeah, they are, Crystal, honest to Pete, they really, really are. They really, really are. Crystal, please watch the replay. Put your comments in the comment section, and I promise you, I will answer you. I usually do too. I usually do too. I don't really remember a time when I voted red unless the person who was blue really pissed me off. And you got to really do something to piss me off if you're blue. Yep, I agree. Same here. Same here. Crystal, put your comments below if you have anything to say, and I promise I'll answer you. I'm sorry you missed the live because the later in the day it gets, the crazier I get, and I had a lot to say today. Michelle will tell you, I've just been going like this. If you want, I'll try to schedule a later one on another day. Just let me know if the replay is okay for you, if you really want to be on the live, and I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can take a nap and get some clarity. Oh baby, I am so yeah, that makes it hard for you. If you have a day off, let me see. I called Michelle and I'm like, I'm trying to do this, which way should I go at it? She says go from easy to hard. So you got here for the hard part. But yeah, if I have to take a nap and do a later one for you, Crystal, I will. Or if you have a day that you're off, I'll try to schedule something for that day so that you can be there. Just text me on Facebook because it'll ping me, and we'll work something out. Okay, babe? Because I want your interaction as well. Thank you all for being here. I love each and every one of you, and we're going to make this work. We're going to make this work, or we're going to go down trying. Take care now. Yeah, I love you too, Crystal. Bye-bye, everybody. See you all over at Ola Joe's.